It's time for Ask Mike Mondays. Mike answers one listener's question every week. Here's Michael Becker and Paul Peebles.
Welcome to Ask Mike Mondays. This is Paul Peebles, National Underwriter for Old Capital, and joining me today, smartest guy in the room, Michael Becker.
Hey, Paul.
So Michael, as you know, has closed over 4,300 apartment units. Listen, I'm wrong. It's 4,600 units, Mike?
Yeah, but we just did a deal.
So instead of having $75 million in equity for investors, now he's up to $85 million.
It was a big deal.
So probably the most active guy in the room. So he's the guy to listen to. So we had a question that came in on Ask Mike Mondays concerning the Green Program. So what is it, and does every lender have that?
Yeah, banks do not have it. Like your traditional community banks do not have it. It's really a program for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Freddie Mac calls it the Multifamily Green Advantage, and Fannie Mae calls it the Green Rewards Program, but they're pretty much the same thing. You know, kind of the bottom line to the program is primarily for older properties that need to be more energy efficient. The agencies are incentivizing owners to change the current usage of electric or water. And if you come in and reduce the water or lower, they'll come in and lower your interest rate up to 33 basis points on new loan. So finding cost savings for either the tenants or landlords by implementing the program. And they also allow you to underwrite the additional loan dollars by getting lower utility expenses and getting a lower rate. And it really leads to pretty much just essentially higher leverage in your loan. Both programs are pretty similar, you know. Let me talk about the Fannie Mae Green program a little bit more in detail. When you buy an apartment complex, the lender is going to require third-party reports to verify the strength of collateral. So most people are pretty used to the first three reports. One is the appraisal. That's kind of just basic the valuation. The second one's the phase one, which identifies that the property is clean from any sort of environmental issues. And the third is the engineering report that we call PCA or PNA, physical needs assessment or property condition assessment. That's basically just to verify if there's any immediate needs that need to be addressed, and it kind of helps sets the monthly replacement reserves on the property. And then when you do the green program, you get another report, which is basically like an engineering report that kind of verifies the potential savings on the property.
So I'll get into the weeds on that program. So besides the property condition assessment report, there's one additional report that's needed, and that's called the High Performance Building Module Report. And that's going to be an engineer that's going to identify any of the existing energy and water usage on the property. It'll include recommendations and improvements, including new Energy Star appliances, energy efficient HVACs, low flow toilets, shower heads, faucets, and maybe some solar energy systems. So what they're looking for is really either by the landlord or by the tenant to try to save 20% of the past historical cost on water and electric. So if you can save that by implementing that program, that's a good one. But so the benefit of the product enhancements to Fannie Mae is the collection of energy and water usage data throughout the nation and determine whether the property is going to be rewarded by getting lower costs for utilities, which is going to translate to, I think, a better NOI on the property. So the benefit of the product for the borrowers is get a lower interest rate. As Mike said, it's about 33 basis points lower. You potentially get higher loan proceeds based on the estimated cash flow savings on loans constrained by the debt yield coverage of, say, 125. You get a better cash flowing property on an ongoing basis because we've kind of clearly delineated the assessment of the energy and water usage of the property, and we kind of lowered that large line item expenses. So whether property taxes or insurance, utility is a huge cost. And if you can reduce that, that's a big thing. The last thing I want to talk a little bit about is that the Green Program had already been implemented by a past ownership group, and the property that you're purchasing has already got that done, and maybe the engineer cannot find any additional utility savings. The program is not going to be allowed. But probably the biggest thing is that there's additional cost to get this form to be completed. It's usually about $7,000, $8,000, $9,000. But if you implement the program, they'll refund you the cost of getting that additional report. So the good thing about this program is that there's not a lot of properties, older properties, that are already on it. So if you do find an opportunity to do a green program with Fannie Mae, make sure you take advantage of that. Mike, anything more?
Yeah. What do we have coming up, Paul? I think we have a event coming up here pretty soon.
On June 7th, we have Amy Morgan with CBRE Appraisal Group. She's based in Dallas. She runs the platform for CBRE Appraisal, and she's a wealth of knowledge. She's been doing it for a long period of time, and especially in this hot market, she's going to be talking about how we can add additional value to some of these multifamily properties. the market keeps going up and up, but now we kind of have to ring the properties to get a little bit more value incrementally out of the property. She's going to have some answers to those questions and kind of talk a little bit about where the best places are to invest in multifamily in Texas, as an example.
And again, that's on June 7th.
June 7th at the Grapevine Convention Center. It starts about 6:30. If you want to come, go on to the Little Capital Podcast, make a note, send us an email. We'd love to see you there. And also, don't forget about our 15-page white paper report on structuring and financing apartment buildings. Mike and I went into great detail and kind of talked a little bit about how to structure these transactions. If you've never owned an apartment building and the only thing you've owned is single family, spend some time, read that, and I think you'll get a good appreciation of how these deals are put together. Anything more?
Yeah, we certainly appreciate anyone who listens to this. Give us a rating and review on iTunes or Stitcher. Certainly helps us move up the rankings in the podcast list. The more rating and reviews we get, the better we get up there and the more visible we can have. If anyone has any future questions for Ask Mike Mondays, certainly go to the oldcapitalpodcast.com website, and there's a way you fill a form out and ask a question that we can answer on a future episode.
Sounds great. Thanks, Mike Becker. I'm Paul Peoples. Have a great day.